Welcome back to the mythical creatures that actually existed. Today we'll be looking at fire creatures, beings able to create or withstand great temperatures. These creatures are great with glorious legends written about them, but maybe they actually existed. Today we're going to look into these claims and decide if we believe it's true. Coming in at number 5 we have Phoenix. Most people see the Phoenix as nothing more than a myth, but there have been potential sightings throughout the years that led many to believe the bird is real. Those who believe this think the bird is almost extinct due to being hunted thousands of years ago, and those left live in fear and are hiding. The Phoenix is an immortal creature. Once it comes to the end of one life cycle, it will simply be born again from its own ashes. Some say it burns to ashes at the end of its life, others claim it simply passes and decomposes before being born again. The first time that the Phoenix was recorded in history was in the 19th century. Since then, many more have told what they believe to know about the creature. Some believe that the Phoenix was a key to everlasting life or a gateway in heavenly paradise. It is now believed that this may have led to humanity attempting to contain and keep the powers for themselves, leading to the near extinction of the species. Since this, little has been known about them, and few sightings of what might be the remaining few birds. In the first text written about the creature, the author made an observation: the Phoenix outlives 9 ravens. Once people started to notice the nature of their lives, the people were unstoppable in their pursuit. There is also evidence supporting the idea that the Egyptians prayed to the sacred bird. They understood the rarity of the creature and saw it as a blessing to worship. Today the Phoenix is often seen in books and movies. There have also been studies carried out attempting to study the existence of the animal. People will often refer to things rising from the ashes in triumph in a way a phoenix would. It is a celebrated creature while also wildly being seen as mythical. Who knows, one day we may know even more about them. Coming in at number 4, Salamander. Salamanders are of course real. They are a group of amphibians typically characterized by their lizard-like appearance, but it is believed they were once more than just your average lizard. Time seems to have taken something from these creatures. It is believed in folklore that the creature once had an affinity with fire. It has the ability to control and create the elemental fire. They are able to sustain fire, being able to walk through or stand in it untouched by the flames. Some have claimed that during the tragedy of Pompeii, the fire salamander was the only thing that remained of the city, the only thing not destroyed by the lava. They are able to put out fire as well as starting them. Apparently they dwell in locations with high temperatures, for example within volcanoes. There are stories that come from legends of salamanders being created when glass blowers left their furnace burning for many days and nights. The lizards nearby were transformed by the flame and it became a part of them. There is a lot of evidence and claims that the salamander existed, but it's unknown if they still exist. Some people think that over time these creatures were adapted to a different climate and location and lost their ability to withstand, extinguish and control fire. Leonardo da Vinci was in particular obsessed with the creatures. He did experiments and wrote what he could about the peculiar creature. He wrote about witnessing the skin of the lizard constantly renew in the fire. He said the creature had no digestive organs and it feeds off of the heat of the flame. Some believe that the fire salamander was the last remnant from dragons. Like every other ancient creature, it either adapted to the new world or became extinct. Coming in at number 3 we have Fire Serpent. The Fire Serpent is said to be an evil entity. It chooses to represent itself as an anthropomorphic snake. It is said that the entity can travel across the sky resembling a shooting star or a fiery rocket. It will look like a blue ball of flame shooting across the sky. It is said that this creature and evil entity reveals itself at night. It is said that the giant serpent can choose any form to appear to you in, whatever it needs to appear as for you to wander into its path. As the creature is a serpent, it cannot speak or hear. It only hopes appearing as the person you love the most in the world, you will go to it without needing any words of confirmation. It is said once you are visited by the serpent, you will not remember the encounter, but you will experience weight loss and exhibit signs of insanity. Many people claim to have seen the serpent, but its terrifying existence is still something that many doubt. Those who have been driven insane by the experience are not believed about the encounter, or they simply disappear without a trace or anyone to witness the encounter. Many think that this creature is responsible for many shooting stars. It's unknown if there's just one entity or if there are multiple, but the sightings have been few and far between, suggesting it works alone. There are some Aztec statues that depict the fire serpent. This has led people to believe the creature has been on Earth far longer than we have. It seems unable to find its way back home and has had to adapt to our lives here, keeping a distance where possible. Historians believe the creature was a weapon of the sun, and they both worshipped and feared the creature. Coming in at number 2, Cherufe. The Cherufe is a humanoid creature made of rock, crystals, and magma. It is said that they live deep underground in magma pools. These are mostly found deep within Chilean volcanoes. For many years, the Chilean people have blamed the creatures for causing earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. It is because of these creatures that in ancient times human sacrifices were made to volcanoes. They believed this was the only way to satiate the beast's taste for human flesh. They believed once the creature had been fed the sacrifice, the volcano would no longer erupt, or at least not until he got hungry once again. Some believe that the creature was originally created when someone fell deep into the volcano. Once they fell, something happened when the lava did not tear through their body but instead formed a hard layer outside of their skin. As they laid there, the rock layer around the skin got thicker and thicker until it was part of them. Since then, they were the humanoid creature. It lost all humanity. It grew a hunger for flesh and demanded a human sacrifice. They grew angry and punished the humans if they did not show a willingness to sacrifice in the way they once did. It is said once transformed, it can outlive its human counterparts. It forgets who it was and dwells in the volcanic rock for thousands of years. The human ritual of human sacrifice ended sometime in the 1960s. Each time there was a disaster, they would make a sacrifice. They did this in hopes it would stop the earthquake, extreme weather, or anything else. This was finally stopped in the 60s when it was recognized as barbaric. It is unknown if the creatures still dwell, causing natural disasters. Maybe the lack of sacrifice has starved them of what they needed to survive. If the theory of the creature was correct, this was stopped or slowed down the occurrence of natural disaster, so it seems it still dwells beneath the surface. And finally, in at number 1 we have dragons. It would not be a list about 5 creatures if it didn't include dragons. Belief about dragons vary from place to place. They are often portrayed as winged, horned, four-legged, and capable of flight. I'm sure most of you have seen or heard of a dragon before. They are one of the most popular mythical creatures to ever exist. It is believed that the teachings about dragons comes from East Asian culture. They tell stories of their deities having dragons as their personal mounts or companions. They are seen as strong creatures. They are good-natured and work with humans, not against them. The question is, are dragons 100% mythical, or are they legend born from an old truth? I'm sure there are many people who refuse to believe in dinosaurs, so it could be possible that the dragons were something that roamed the earth during or before the Triassic period. As we know, many dinosaurs were capable of flight and somewhat resemble a dragon, so it's not the most unbelievable theory in the world. There may even be evidence to support this theory. On April 1st, 1998, an article was published that revealed a discovery. They had uncovered a near-complete skeleton of a dragon-like dinosaur. They named their findings Smorg. The discovery was suspended in a jar and shocked everyone who saw it. The dragon-like creature is small enough to sit on your finger. Many believe this to be a hoax and dismissed it, but there is no doubting this little dinosaur looks like a dragon that was preserved by the earth for possibly millions of years. What do you think? Do you believe that dragons could be real, or just something that exists in the stories like Harry Potter or Game of Thrones? Well, there we have it. I'll see you in the next video. Welcome back to mythical creatures that actually existed. Why is that welcome back? Salamander's real. Matilda said so. And she was like, when she was playing with her friends, and they were like, it's a salamander, it's a newt. You remember the scene? No, everyone remembers that scene in Matilda. Oh, maybe that's why they were like, oh, it's a newt, because it wasn't a salamander. And then they put it on Miss Trunchbull. And she's like, everyone remembers. I'm not crazy. You remember, Chris?
I do.
Good. It's a salamander. It's a newt. That's how they say it. It will look like a blue ball of flame. Also, Chris, just so you know, like what I'm going through right now, about every 3 to 5 seconds, not on the script, about every 3 to 5 seconds my phone buzzes. Ever since I've started filming, every 3 to 5 seconds. It's constant. So I don't know who's blowing up my phone, but someone has to be dying. Like, this has led people to believe I'm sorry, I can't continue like this. You can see the amount of time it blows up. They believe once the creature had been fed to sacrifice They believed once the creature had been fed the sacrifice, the volcano would no longer erupt. Those who believe this Those who believe that the bird... Those who believe this thing, the bird, is almost extinct. Oh. Okay. Those who believe this think the bird is almost extinct due to being hunted thousands of years ago. Well, there we have it. I'll see you in the next video.